Alright, this is a demonstration of my fourth order Butterworth filter on the analog, and then a fourth order digital filter realized in the Arduino. They both have a cutoff frequency of 100 hertz, and the way I'm generating a waveform is using what's like a homemade digital to analog converter, using this R2R circuit. There's two of them, one for the input sinusoids right here. There's some parallel capacitors there for smoothing it out. And this one is for the output of the digital filter, which is processed through the Arduino using the program that was written. So what I have going here is a 50 hertz sine wave summed with a 1 kilohertz sine wave, and that is shown on the oscilloscope here. It's from the output of the first R2R circuit. And what I'm going to show next is the digital filter's output. So first I gotta disconnect this. So this goes to the analog in on the Arduino. And then this oscilloscope is now connected to the second R2R circuit here. And it should be showing the output here. I already have it running on my computer. So the 50 hertz plus the 1 kilohertz, it attenuates the 1 kilohertz sine wave, and it just leaves the lower frequency sine wave. There's some distortion just because the program isn't perfect. I'm trying to generate waveforms using an Arduino. It's not going to be perfect. So, and then on the code side of things, I had to mess with some of the numbers to get the right the values, but I found like what the numbers should be by testing them independent of one another. Up here, this is my function for the actual digital filter itself. There's a recursive formula right here that was used, and these are like the delay parts of the recursive formula. They're kind of iterated before we actually take the input and before we use the recursive formula, and then it's sent to the output here. And next I'm going to show the analog version of this. I'm going to do the same input, the 50 hertz plus the 1 kilohertz. So got to disconnect this from the oscilloscope, this from the output. This goes to the input here. So I have a two-stage fourth order Butterworth filter here using 2 op amps, 4 capacitors, a bunch of resistors. I'm powering the op amps with 2 9-volt batteries, one for the negative, one for the positive. Let's see, the oscilloscope has to be connected here on the negative side here as well. Okay, and then I also have to run the analog version here. So I have 2 different versions, just because I disabled the digital filter for the analog version. It provides a cleaner input, and that actually made me have to change some of the values for the input functions here. But yeah, it works better for the filter. Because the analog filter was there, it took up a lot of time, so it actually made the input a bit more choppy once it got up to 1 kilohertz. But yeah, I'll run the analog filter right now. You can see it's commented out for where it would normally call the digital filter, but I'll run it now. All right, so now should be showing it. It's taking a sec. All right, so this 9-volt battery kind of stinks. I have to hold it down, but this is the output of the analog filter here. It's also attenuating those higher frequencies, the 1 kilohertz, and what's left over is basically the 50 hertz sine wave. There's a little bit of distortion there as well, but that's also just because the Arduino isn't perfect. But yeah, that's pretty much it.